Terius Youngdell Nash, better known by his stage name The Dream, is an American R&B and pop record producer, singer, and songwriter. He is known for co-writing many successful songs, including Me Against the Music for Britney Spears, Umbrella for Rihanna, Single Ladies for Beyoncé, Copyright and Baby for Justin Bieber, as well as for his acclaimed releases as a solo artist. Early life: Terius Nash was born on September 20, 1977, in Rockingham, North Carolina. He moved with his mother to Atlanta when he was 3 years old. After first learning to play trumpet in elementary school, Nash learned how to play the drums and guitar. His mother died in 1992 when Nash was 15 years old, an event which would inspire him to write songs. He states that the death of his mother gave him a soft spot for women, which he credits to his desire to write songs about female empowerment such as Rihanna's Umbrella. He moved in with his grandfather, a concrete mason who instilled a strong work ethic in young Nash. Of his grandfather, Nash recalls, "He came out of a bad time for blacks in the South, but even though we lived in the hood, we had a boat, some cars and a house that was paid for. So we a unregistered trademark. They always had a different outlook on life. Theory a unregistered trademark S nothing I can't a unregistered trademark T do." Music career: 2001 a 07, beginnings. Nash met R&B producer Laney Stewart in 2001 and Stewart helped him get a publishing deal after Nash wrote everything for B2K's album Pandemonium. Under the pen name The Dream, Nash began writing lyrics for many popular artists. He co-wrote Britney Spears' hit Me Against the Music from her album In the Zone. He spent 2 years working on Nervia's second album Complicated, which he executive produced, and continued to write and produce with Christopher "Tricky" Stewart, Laney's brother, which led to Rihanna's 2007 hit Umbrella. Umbrella was nominated for Song of the Year at the 2008 Grammy Awards. 2008 a 10, The Love Trilogy. In 2007 Nash signed a record contract with Def Jam Recordings and began working on his debut studio album Love Hate. The album was produced by The Dream, his production partner Tricky Stewart, and Los Da Maestro, and featured Fabulous and Rihanna. The album was written and recorded in 8 days with 12 tracks making the final cut. Released December 11, 2007, on The Dream's Def Jam imprint Radio Killer Records, the album featured the singles Shouty as a 10, Falsetto, and I Love Your Girl, and received generally positive reviews from critics, as Rolling Stone called it one of the most likable R&B records of the year, and UrbanMusicReviews.com said that the singer had hit a home run. In June 2008, The Dream was named Best New Artist at the BET Awards. On March 10, 2009, The Dream released his second album Love vs. Money. He re-teamed with Tricky Stewart, who produced most of the tracks on the album, and Los Da Maestro. The album featured Mariah Carey, Kanye West, and Lil Jon and featured the singles Rockin' That Shit, Walkin' on the Moon, and Sweat It Out. Upon its release, the album received general acclaim from most music critics, based on an aggregate score of 83/100 from Metacritic, and it was more commercially successful than its predecessor, debuting at number 2 on the Billboard 200. During the making of Love King, he recorded a song with T-Pain and expressed that he would like to make a collaborative album with Kanye West in the future. In January 2010, The Dream officially stated he was finished recording the album and he called it the best of his 3 albums. The album was released on June 29, 2010. Before the album's release, The Dream announced that Love King will be his last solo album. Once again produced by The Dream, Christopher "Tricky" Stewart, and Los Da Maestro, the album spawned the singles Love King, and Makeup Bag. Despite positive reviews from critics, the album was less commercially successful than Love vs. Money, and debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200. 2011 a present, 1977 and 4play, on the Love King track Sex Intelligent, The Dream sang that he would release a follow-up album titled Love Affair on June 7, 2011. On that intended release date, The Dream released a medley of 2 new songs titled Body Work/Fuck My Brains Out as a free download, followed by an album titled 1977 on August 31, 2011, also as a free download. Def Jam Recordings released 1977 commercially on December 18, 2012 with a modified tracklist and the new title Terius Nash, 1977. Love Affair was delayed repeatedly and the name was changed to The Love, 4, Love 4, Diary of a Madman, Love 4 MMXII, and finally Foreplay. In the nearly 3 years between Love King and Foreplay, The Dream released the singles Rock and Dope Bitch, which were not included on the final tracklist for Foreplay. Foreplay was released on May 28, 2013. The album features guest appearances from Jay-Z, Big Sean, Pusha T, Beyoncé Copyright, 2 Chainz, Kelly Rowland, Gary Clark Jr. and Fabulous and the singles Slow It Down, and Foreplay. On January 8, 2014, he revealed that he had left Def Jam Recordings and was now independent. Production and songwriting. In addition to his work with Nervia and Rihanna, Nash has written and produced songs for many other notable R&B, hip-hop, and pop artists, including Jay Holiday, Usher, Young Jock, Jesse McCartney, Mariah Carey, Ciara, Brandy, Diddy, Mary J. Blige, and Beyoncé Copyright. In 2009, The Dream and Tricky Stewart co-wrote and produced the album How to Be a Lady, Volume 1 by the R&B girl group Electric Red. The Dream has also been a featured artist on singles by artists such as Plies, LL Cool J, Dear Jane, Gym Class Heroes, Sterling Sims, Rick Ross, Fabulous, Jamie Foxx, and Snoop Dogg. In early 2009, The Dream began working with Christina Milian on her 4th studio album Elope, which led to her signing a joint deal with Radio Killer Records. The Dream said that when he was building his label, he went looking for Milian because he believed she was a talented singer. The singer confirmed that her second single would be a duet with The Dream called Supersonic. Elope was never released and the material she recorded with The Dream was scrapped after her marriage to Nash ended. In 2010, The Dream received backlash for his cover of Aaliyah's song 1 in a Million. Upon the release of the song, fans of Aaliyah bombarded radio shows and blog sites with distaste for The Dream's rendition. Influence. John Calvert of The Quietus writes that The Dream's Stadium R&B reinvented the genre as a mythological epic, citing it as an influence on Frank Ocean's 2012 song Pyramids. AllMusic editor Andy Kellman writes that, with Carlos McKinney and Tricky Stewart, The Dream seized possession of the belt for the electronic pop R&B division, once held by innovators Leon Silver's 3, Kashif and Maury Brown, Prince, Jam and Lewis, Teddy Riley, Timbaland and Missy Elliott, and the Neptunes. Personal life. After dating for 6 months, Nash married his girlfriend Nervia in 2004. Together they had 3 children, daughter Navy Talia and twin sons London and Christian. Nervia filed for legal separation on December 10, 2007. Nash said that although he was in love with Nervia, his lack of experience in a family growing up meant he was not taught how much more than love it takes to run a relationship. Like, 'cause love isn't just where it's gonna end. It can't start and stop with love. There has to be a certain amount of knowledge and patience that's acquired in order to keep it going and keep it straight, and I found out the hard way. Their divorce was finalized on June 15, 2008. Nash began dating Christina Milian in early 2009 and she became pregnant. The Daily Mail reported that the pregnancy was a surprise, but they were getting married regardless. They were engaged in June 2009 and married on September 4, 2009 at the Little White Chapel in Las Vegas. Nash said in an interview that Nervia was still a good friend of his, and that she was also friends with Milian. 5 months after their wedding, Nash filed divorce papers in Georgia on February 17, 2010, just 9 days before Christina gave birth to their daughter Violet Madison on February 26, 2010. The couple announced their separation on July 12, 2010 after photos surfaced of Nash vacationing with his assistant. Their divorce was finalized on October 23, 2011. Discography. Studio albums: Love Hate, Love vs. Money, Love King, Terius Nash, 1977, Foreplay, Fruition, Awards and Nominations, References. External links, official website, Living in the Radio Sasha Frere Jones, not content just to write the hits the New York Times, The Dream's logic the Village Voice,